Hey everyone, Dr. Rowe coming to you from SpineCare in St. Joseph, Michigan. So if you're dealing with a stiff, locked up, painful lower back and need quick relief, definitely check this video out. I'm going to go over a straightforward step-by-step guide that's going to help lengthen and strengthen the main muscles in the lower back. That way we can get both quick and long-lasting relief. While each one of these parts works differently, they are meant to work together and also in order. Another quick note, the only piece of equipment that I'm going to be using in this video is an everyday racquetball. These are really inexpensive. You can find them locally at any sporting goods department. If you would like to pick one up online, I'll leave a link in this video's comments section and description. With that being said, let's get started. In the first part, we're going to focus on releasing tight muscles, including knots, spasms, and trigger points, usually the main cause of lower back pain for most people. For this one, we're going to lie flat on our back in bed or on a floor. So I'm going to use a racquetball for this one, but if you don't have one, you can also use something like a tennis ball or even just roll up several large socks into a ball. That should work. But you just want to take the ball and place it right over the muscle in your lower back that's causing the most amount of pain or discomfort. So from there, what you're going to do is lean your body weight back onto it and then just gently press your body weight down into the ball to the point where it is a comfortable self-massage, not causing any discomfort. Once we've done that, we're going to take our hands, put them right on our hips. Now imagine your tailbone. What you want to do is scoop it upward like this, curling it towards your belly button, towards your spine. As you do this, you're going to feel your hips start to rock backward, but more importantly, those muscles are going to glide right over that ball, offering a really good self-massage. So build into that as much as you can, hold that for a second or two, and then what you're going to do is go in reverse. So imagine your tailbone again, you're going to just scoop it or press it downward towards the bed. This time around, you're going to feel your hips rock forward, but again, that ball's going to glide over that muscle. You just want to keep doing this over and over again for about 10 to 15 repetitions. And with each repetition, just try to press your body weight into the ball a little bit more. Afterwards, see how you feel. If it feels pretty loose, no pain or discomfort, you can switch the ball over any spot in the lower back as needed and just keep repeating this over and over again. But if you do have one spot that just will not release, it's being really stubborn, to take this one to the next level, this is what we can do. Let's take our ball and place it right over the spot that you're having discomfort. So whatever side that is, for me it's on my left, what you want to do is take the leg on that side, take your hands, place them right above your knee, and what you're going to do is pull your knee right towards your chest as much as you can while also pressing your body weight down into the ball. This will quickly intensify that self-massage, so build into it. And then from there, what I'd like to do is now rock my body from side to side. So I just kind of lower my knee towards the floor until you really feel a good massage. Hold that for a second or two, rock it towards the other side. But give that one a try. It may help just finally release those muscle knots. And the nice thing is, with this method, you can use it across the lower back, even into the hips, even over the buttocks. Just target any spot that needs it a little bit more. So after doing the muscle release, everything in the lower back should be warmed up, and we're now ready to move on to the second part, which is strengthening exercises. By far the most important part, because if we can build more strength or support in the lower back, it's our best bet for long-lasting relief. Great part with this first exercise, we're already in position. Let's lie flat on our back in bed or on a floor. Have your legs roughly hip-width apart, knees bent, feet flat. The first thing that I like to do is brace my core muscles, which is going to help protect the lower back. So we're going to mimic when somebody tries to poke us in our stomach, how we draw our belly button towards our spine. Just lightly hold that. We also want to focus on our glutes or our buttocks by just gently squeezing our butt cheeks and also holding that during this exercise. So let's take our hands and then put them right on our hips. What we're going to do is slowly press our hips upward towards the ceiling until our body is roughly in a straight line from our knees to our hips to our shoulders. If you're unable to get into this position due to pain or weakness, like you can only go up an inch or two, do the best you can. Hopefully over time you'll gain strength and flexibility to get into this position, but you're going to feel a ton of muscles start to fire across the core, lower back, your butt, and your legs, everything that supports your lower back. Let's hold this comfortably for about 3 to 5 seconds, release it, take a breather, and then repeat this 10 times. And with each repetition, try to build into it just a little bit more. Afterwards, see how you feel. If it's helping out and you have a little bit more energy, try to throw in another set or two. But if you would like to take this one to the next level and definitely strengthen these muscles some more, this is what we can do. Let's get back into our original bridge position, but I'm going to add in a marching motion. So I'm going to lift one leg up, bringing my knee towards my body. As you do this, this other side is really going to be challenged a little bit more. You really want to focus too on trying to keep your hips level. So if you notice like you're starting to tilt downward, try to bring that up. Hold this for a second or two, release it, and then repeat it on the other side. So I just like to do about 5 marches on both sides and then relax. Again, just keep repeating this as much as you're able to, maybe for about 5 to 10 complete sets. But if it feels like you have a little bit more energy, try to throw in a couple more repetitions. So here's another really good strengthening exercise, but this one's going to target a little bit more across the core and also across the hips. This is called the bird dog hydrant. We're going to start on all fours in bed, but it probably will be easiest to do on a floor. So let's slowly straighten one leg like this, pointing our toes away and just keeping the top of our foot flat on the bed or the floor. Just slide it out as much as you can until you start to feel a really good stretch form in your calf muscles that works upward towards the back of your thigh, into your hip, into the lower back. Once you feel it in the lower back, you want to hold this and now slowly raise your leg upward like this so it's roughly in line with your body. You're going to feel a ton of muscles start to fire across the core, into the back, into the hip, all the way down towards your leg. You want to hold this comfortably for about 3 to 5 seconds. You're going to release it, and then you're going to repeat this on the other side. I would try to do this about 5 times on both sides, and with each repetition, just building into it a little bit more. Afterwards, see how you feel. If it feels like you have some more energy, challenge yourself by throwing in another set or 2. But if you want to take this one to the next level and strengthen some more muscles, especially our glutes, the buttocks, what we can do is add in the hydrant movement. So with this one, as you straighten your leg up like this and you relax it, just bring it back down like this. Have your knee bent at 90 degrees, but don't let it touch. Just let it hover an inch or 2 above the bed or the floor. What you're going to do from there is slowly just bring your knee upward towards the ceiling, moving through your leg and hip as much as you can. I also like to rotate my body to look upward towards the ceiling at the same time. Now you know why we call this one the hydrant, but you're going to feel a ton of muscles across the hips start to fire. Build into this one, hold it for a couple seconds, and then finally relax. And then just repeat this on the other side. I like to do this as just a nice fluid movement of building into the bird dog, into the hydrant. And try to repeat this about 5 times on both sides. But again, if it feels like you have a little bit more energy, challenge yourself by throwing in another set or 2. So if you're looking for a strengthening exercise that you can do standing but also throughout the day, here's a really easy one that's going to target a lot of muscles. What we're going to do is called the hip hiker, and all you need is a stair or a step for this one. So I always recommend whatever side that you're having a little bit more discomfort, that's the side that's going to be off the step. So what I'm going to do is take one foot, put it right at the edge of that step, the other one is going to be off just like this. And if you do have balance issues, make sure to have a step that has a railing or something that you can grab onto for support. But let's try to keep our back as straight as possible during this exercise, and all movement is going to come from this hip that is off of that step. So I'm just going to put my hand right on my hip, and I'm going to drive that hip upward towards the ceiling as much as I can. As you do this, you're going to feel a lot of muscles start to fire. You should feel it in the hip first, but it's going to slowly start to work towards your lower back. This targets the glutes and a lower back muscle called the quadratus lumborum, the QL, which is a huge instigator of lower back pain. Hold this comfortably for about 3 to 5 seconds, and then what you're going to do is now lower that foot downward towards the floor, but don't let it touch, just let it hover a little bit above. The further that you go down, the more that you're going to feel a deep stretch form on the other side. The great part about this exercise, it will help strengthen one side and stretch at the same time. Again, let's hold this for about 3 to 5 seconds and then slowly come back up and repeat this whole process of going up and down for 5 to 10 times. With each repetition, try to build into it just a little bit more. Afterwards, see how you feel. If it feels like you have a little bit more energy, try to challenge yourself by throwing in another set or 2. Just remember though, whatever you do on one side, always do on the other to help keep everything in balance. In the last part, we're going to focus on mobility stretches to keep the back nice and loose. These are perfect to do throughout the day anytime that you need quick relief, but they're also really good to do after those strengthening exercises to help limit soreness. Let's start with one of my favorites, the ballerina. For this one, we're going to start standing. Whatever side that you're having the most amount of pain or discomfort, let's say it's your right side, what you want to do is take that foot and place it over the other side just like this, toes pointed straight ahead. You want to try to bring this foot out just to the point where you feel a little bit of a stretch on the outer part of that hip, the painful side's hip, going into your lower back. And if this is the first time doing it, I would do this next to a wall or at least have something that you can grab onto for support. So the other side, what I'm going to do is take the hand on that side, place it right over my hip, and take the hand on the painful side and place it right overhead like this. So it kind of looks like we're a ballerina. So what you want to do is slowly press your hips towards that painful side while your upper body leans away from it at the same time. What you're going to notice is a really good stretch form over the ribs right here that works into the lower back and then finally towards your hip. Build into this one slowly and as much as you can too until you feel a deep but comfortable stretch. You want to hold this for 20 seconds. You're going to release it and then you're going to repeat this 3 to 5 times, and with each repetition try to build into it just a little bit more. But if you would like to take this one to the next level, throw some more movements in and hopefully get more relief, this is what we can do. Instead of putting our hand overhead just like this, put your arms crossed in front of you just like this, so kind of like a genie position. And what you want to do is move through your waist and through your lower back and rotate towards the non-painful side. You're going to start to feel a little bit of a different stretch in the lower back. Build into the point where it's comfortable but deep, and then you want to hold this and then slowly tilt your arms downward towards the floor. So we're essentially going to twist and then lean downward like this. It's going to target the muscles a little bit differently, but it's usually a more intense stretch. What I like to do is hold this for 5 seconds, release it, and then keep repeating this over and over again until everything is nice and loose or I'm not getting any more improvement. Just remember though, whatever you do on one side, always switch to the other and repeat to keep everything in balance. So here's a really good mobility stretch that we can do seated. I always like to start with the most painful side, or at least the side that's having the most discomfort. Let's say that's our right side. What you're going to do first is take the ankle on that side and place over your other side's knee. So when you look down, it should look like a figure 4. If you have a lot of lower back pain or just not much flexibility, to make it a little bit easier to get into this position, just straighten the other leg out like this, put your ankle over the other side's shin. That way you can grab your pant leg or in front of the shin and then slide it into position. This one is going to target a couple muscles that are probably the biggest instigators to lower back pain, which would be the glutes or the buttocks, and another muscle underneath it called the piriformis. So what you want to do first is focus on taking this bent knee and pressing it downward towards the floor as much as you can until you feel a deep activation of the buttocks around the hips, not to the point of any pain or discomfort. Once you feel that, hold this for about 5 seconds and then release it. And then what I'd like to do is repeat this about 10 times, with each repetition just building into it a little bit more. Afterwards, these muscles should be loosened up a little bit more, so now you can focus on a little bit deeper of a stretch. So let's press this knee downward until we feel that deep activation around our hip. And now what we're going to do is keep our back nice and straight, but lower our chest towards the floor. The more that you pivot forward with your chest, the more intense that stretch is going to get. So build into that slowly, hold it for 5 seconds, and then just keep repeating that over and over again until everything is nice and loose or you're not getting any more improvement. To take this one to the next level and focus a little bit more into our lower back, this is what we can do. Let's get back into that original position of pressing our knee down. Let's activate those glute muscles. We're going to hold that, and now what you can do is focus on turning through your waist towards the other side. At this point, you're going to feel a really good stretch form in your lower back. Just go to the point where it's deep but comfortable. Hold this for 5 seconds and then release. What you can also do is a tilting movement. So again, let's press our knee towards the floor until we feel those muscles activate. But this time around, we're going to put our hand overhead and we're just going to tilt towards the other side. Focus on feeling a stretch from your ribs that works into your lower back towards your hip. 5-second hold, and then release. If you do notice that any of those positions just offer a little bit more relief, at that point, keep throwing repetitions in until everything loosens up. Just remember though, whatever you do on one side, always do on the other to keep everything in balance. If the exercises help, please support the channel by giving this video a like and maybe subscribing too. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks for watching.